Hello, engineers. How you doing? How you doing this fine day? Real quick before we get into this, would you just do me a huge favor? Consider subscribing. I'm on the road to 1,000. It would mean the world to me. Watch this video to the end. It would help me out tremendously. Tremendously. If you like what you see here, give it a like. It tells both me, it tells both me and YouTube that this is the kind of content you like to see. And if at some point you feel like leaving a comment, leave me a comment. It'd mean the world. But let's get into this. So what this video is, sorry, it's the first time I've done one of these, so I'm a little about it. But I have taken a ship from SE1. We're looking at it right now. I've ported it to SE2. And then I used that ship to build something else. So this ship is from SE1. It is not my original work, this ship here. It is Bass Casino. I do not actually remember the name of the person that originally uploaded it, but it was a very, very long time ago. You can find it on Mod.io if you're interested, if you still play SE1. Okay. But we'll show you the ship real quick, give you a quick look at it so you can kind of see what it looked before and then what it's going to look after with my ship, what I've basically done. This is a ship I've used as a foundation for many of my ships in SE1. This is kind of the first ship I ever really played with really in SE1, actually played with. And, you know, used mods on, did PvP with. So all of my ships there forward were built off this thing. It was like total rebuilds of it, or like mirroring it. Yep, you can see it. It's got a hangar in here. There's not much point in me showing you the sub bays and all of that because that didn't change in the new build. If you're interested in seeing what that looks like in the new build, go ahead and, you know, check out the mod blueprint. I have it in my description if you want to see it. And this is where thrusters would go. This is a hydrogen ship. That's why it's like empty right here. It's because there's no hydrogen thrusters in the game currently, so we can't really, you know, have hydrogen thrusters where they belong. But yeah, this is the ship that it started with. So this is the before. And if you'll give me a second, in 3, 2, 1, and here we are. Wait, where is it? Oh, it's behind me. My bad. This is the F-J Vintage Mark 1. As you can already tell, it looks different. Different color scheme. We did some work with it. We completely flattened out that nose. Just flattened it completely. We widened it slightly to create like this runway effect. And I think it looks really good. We took what used to be where the turrets are. Now, in the Mark II, I'm going to spoil it now. I'm going to make that one more towards combat, so it'll have spot 4 turrets when those are a thing. Heavy armor replacement. Thrusters inside the armor for 1 extra armor between vitals, but also, you know, acceleration and stuff. I know it's a little spoily, but, you know, that'll probably be another couple weeks before that ship's done. The connectors look really good. I think they just sit right. I didn't want them in the block, but I didn't want them standing above it. And I think I got the sweet spot, the cream of the crop right here with them sticking out like that. I wanted them to stick out slightly so that way you didn't have to have like the connector on a small ship being like super far below the rest of the ship in design. It could sit a little flush and it not be a problem. Yep, we've got 8 up here, and then we have 1 on either side right here. As you might have noticed, there is a window here, and there's also this wing here. This is new. I thought we'd add that to spice it up. It looks pretty good. But you may have noticed the hangar is gone, and it's also have a wall here. And let me show you something. The hangar is still technically there. I really love how this came out right here, the way it overhangs. And I love the way the nose looks right here. Just being like that, you know, like coming out, having the layer. Anyway, the hangars are still here in a way. It's smaller, and the entrance is now through what used to be one of the thrusters. This ship didn't really need that much reverse thrust with the way SE2 does its like deceleration speeds. It's much faster than SE1, so you could sacrifice some reverse thrust in order for design in the front. Right now, in this stage of the game, I'm sure later on that might change, and it might be slower. But then at that point, you're already using like hydrogen, or maybe if we get like Prototech or some shit, you know, something better than hydrogen, if, you know, if quotation marks here. Then, you know, you swap that out and it'll be fine. Of course, there's not doors currently, so I wasn't able to put doors here. So this is not a space that could have safe oxygen. You may notice there's a wall here. What's actually happening behind this wall? Don't tell big companies I told you this, but there's actually, some conveyors, or some cargo back here. We got 2 very large and then 2 small on either side, so a total of 4. Meantime, I'll just place that there. Fight me, I know it looks weird. We raised the conveyors up slightly, so that way they gave you more, room in here. I think it looks good. I think it looks pretty good. If we go ahead and go downstairs, it's a little squished, but I'm sure once we get some like decoration blocks, we can kind of fill this in down here and it'll look better. I'm sure maybe I can make a 1 block tall like desk or bunk bed or something I could fill in here at some point. We still got the windows here, and the medical bay is still here in this one, although it looks a little funky because the medical bay that we have now in SE2 is way different than the one we had in SE1, so it takes up a little space. Let's go ahead and go back outside, and I'll show you some of the rest of the ship. This is on Steam, by the way, obviously, because I don't think you can upload SE2 stuff on Mod.io right now. We added this here, so we flattened out this ramp, so it did come up to here to like a point on both sides. We took that out, added a half, and then we built off of that, because I kind of wanted to like fold back in on itself and create like a little curve. And across the bottom, because it originally was flat like that, we added some like quarter ramps, and then we added some pillars here, so that way it kind of made more of like a circular design. I really like how it came out. Of course, the ions don't look right, but it's not supposed to be ion. It still has its conveyors behind there for when there's hydrogen. So once there's hydrogen, this will look proper again. I liked what we did here with the small solar panels to break up for what used to be a block that was there in SE1 that is not here in SE2, which was, I believe, the blast door kind of blocks, those blast blocks that used to run across here as design. We don't have that here, so we filled in. We used the small solar panel. Does that make a noise when you're next to it? It does. For some reason, it makes noise. Okay. I'll try and turn that up in editing so you can hear it. Small solar panels, and we use some small blocks. These are actually small blocks. You see how we can move them across like this? Whereas a whole block, it snaps in chunks. So it's actually a bunch of small blocks. We couldn't really make it work with like a half block. It was just too tall. So we had to use some small ones to make this work. To save on PCU, now this is my little secret. This is not in the description or anything. So if you're seeing the video, this is the only place you can find it. This is actually empty in here. So you technically have spaced armor. Technically. That was just the save in PCU, so we weren't spamming a bunch of blocks for no reason. Alright. And then we made that connect here, and I think they did pretty good. Did a little archways across that to make it, fill out a little better. Of course, we put the naming there. The thrusters are interesting. It's ion, and she's kind of heavy, so have to work with what we got. When we get hydrogen, this will look so much better. Mark II, I'm actually planning to do something strange and interesting with the thrusters. So right here where these solar panels are now, what used to be was those vent blocks. So right about here where these big blocks are, you can actually see the line where the new blocks are added, was a hole that went like, it was like 1 block wide down the middle. And in that hole, I had vent blocks positioned and set up for power draw. So when I would like fire a railgun or be accelerating, those vents would open up and it would kind of look like an engine. Well, we don't have that in this game. So I did a little bit of weird shape design choices, and I put solar panels here, and it kind of looks like a weird, funky little engine on the back. I think it works for what it's meant to do. I think it looks good for what it is. Of course, the paint job, this is intentional, these block space gaps. This is how the original paint was over here, so we kept that. It's a little weird, but it grows on you over time. And we kind of follow that design here. We didn't let it continue up to these bands. These bands are separated, as you can see. I think the ship came out pretty great. It's on Steam. There's some screenshots if you want it. I'll leave it linked below. But yeah, it's really all, guys. I don't want to take up too much of your time with this ship. If you're curious of watching it being built, I have 4 streams that are linked in a playlist you can find on my channel. They're like an hour to 2 hours long per stream if you just need something going on in the background, a long video of some sort. Maybe you're like cleaning your house. whatever. That is there and available for you guys if you want to watch how this was made and the decisions behind it and how many times I messed up. Yeah, anyway, won't take up any more of your time. Thank you for watching. Give me a like if you enjoyed it and made it this far. If you watched to the end, comment yellow. No, purple. Comment purple. And I will see you guys Thursday for a weekly Space Engineers 2 update. Bye-bye.